Dear Mexican boys, if you originate in my state, first of all, that guy's kind of cute. I figured he's over 18 because I'm not sure about their age, but based on how his body is built, also, oh, okay, liquid hombre. Basically, that man that's wearing that sombrero, right? Have you ever had this Edgar haircut? Basically, for my viewers across the pond, for anyone that might be from England, unless you're being affected by the dumb AI age restriction ID or having to give out your ID for some dumb reason. I do not know why, nor does the hombre, just because of YouTube taking that children came on here. By the way, I hope to put this belly that YouTube doesn't remove this as they removed my other channel. Well, they didn't remove my channel, but the two videos, because I got two guideline strikes of me talking about gender guys and then about my Brazilian crush that does the stomach vacuum fetish thing, if that makes sense, right? And then all the Korea, that makes sense. Edgar haircuts are pretty attractive, right? And also, I just noticed because I think the first two photos are supposed to be this boy here. I'm guessing he is like a college age. I'm not sure though. And in that one, I know he looks underage, right? I just give me an example because I did my best to find a few great examples of what Edgar haircuts look like from what, let's just say if you are look like you might be a sophomore, the one on the right, and then the boy on the left, right? Unless, I'm not sure if that's the same boy in, La Esquina y la Mitad. It looked like he basically, because he's drying in, he looked like he might be, like, out of high school, right? 18, give or take, right? Or 19. It's hard to tell these days sometimes. Because I look younger than I was when I was in high school. So, it's kind of weird. Edgar haircuts are not ugly. Now, a ton of people would disagree with me. You'd probably be asking, Diana, ¿por qué? Well, back when I was in high school, right, I originate in Phoenix, which is basically one of the most high-populated Mexican cities in the United States. This was really popular when I was in high school. Also, I know there's like a couple of photos of me and a couple of friends that I knew. That's all I have. I'll make sure that later to goes viral. But the reason why is that a lot of these boys, right, they would have these Edgar haircuts. That's what they're called. I guess you could call it let's just say, the Latino bowl cut. Think about the broccoli haircut that British lads have in England, right? They look kind of hideous, I think. I don't know. I could look them up again. But Edgar haircuts are way different, right? Because a ton of people tend to think that when boys have these type of hairstyles, right, it means that they're a troublemaker, they're in the gang, they would ditch school, they may have like a father or maybe some brother, you never know, that may join a cartel and whatnot, because I know we have a problem with that in Mexico, of course, right? In certain parts that actually makes sense, which is really heartbreaking, and that actually makes sense again. And a handful of my crushes growing up that were Mexican, they basically dressed like this. I kid you not, they did. I would get so nervous on one because they're really masculine, and plus they can fight, so that's kind of hot to think about it. And they're taller to me, so sorry about that. Mexicans are something else because their culture is really macho. I do not know why though. I gotta look that up compared to, let's say, Japanese. I just want to say I love Japan, or me encantado. But Mexico, me encanta. This may be lagging a bit. Hold on. Okay, make this go best matatos. I had to basically audio record near the end because this is doing it again, the choppy audio issue. So I know this seems like it's plagiarizing, they meant to come off that way, right? Because I wanted to do some AI search, right? Or I search, intelligent search, right? On Twitter about why this is popular. And basically, the Edgar haircut is known for and I think it's the Humano tribe. See, yeah, I think that's the word, right? Humano. Don't mistake it for humano, right? Which means human in Spanish, right? It's Jumano because at least in the Mexican dialect, we pronounce J's as H. At least I do, right? Or at least for the Mexicans I knew growing up, because I speak, let's just say, Phoenix Mexican Spanish, right? Or Phoenician Spanish. It's basically Mexican Spanish, but slightly different. Think about Texan Spanish, maybe. I don't know. Okay? And basically, they're a different type of tribe that was founded in West Texas. So, if I could basically imaginate your head here, think about the Amazon tribe, or one of the Amazon tribes in Brazil. mixed with, let's just say, the Peruvian tribe. Think about the Bastu groove, right? You know, Cusco, for example, but a little different because his hair is not long, right? That is Peruvian. There's a big difference. It may not seem like it, right? But to make this easier, okay, they look as though they're Navajo mixed with Mexican, right? Really attractive. What's to say, appearance of their DNA. I just had to say, right? Because I want to share much of my ancestry because I don't know much of it. You know, my mother told me part of it, and I like to keep that hidden for people that know about it. And I just think it's really beautiful. I know that it seems a little dorky or not attractive, but if you haven't grown up in a Mexican neighborhood as I have, okay, you may not be able to experience it. This is my version of it. And also, La Nola La Esquida, he actually looked like, he's straight as a ruler. I just want to let everyone know. He reminds me of this boy back in my freshman year, right? He calls me player. Wait, no, Dan, that's right. That was in your junior year. He would say, hey, playa, right? Because I would talk to a lot of girls, but not that way. This friendship wise, right? And of course, back then, well, you cannot really express yourself being, you know, well, let's just say for my viewers that are in the gay community, right? I'm sure you get where I'm coming from because I'm an ally, right? Because I'm open, I guess you could say I'm an open spirit, right? You have to not be a little feminine, or you cannot really show much femininity, or you may lose some friendships. So, yeah, you kind of get where, don't worry, I didn't got beaten up or anything, no. Okay, it's just that I'm kind of good at hiding it, but I wasn't full macho, right? Because I grew up in that environment, so I get it. And Alvaro, if I remembered correctly, I think that was his name. Unless that's my freshman year. I don't remember which year it was. But he looks like him at the left. Kinda. But he would smoke weed. You know, he'd get high, whatever, and talk to girls, and they like to talk to me. They're Mexican, by the way. So, para mis menecandos, mwah, muchas gracias, pela, experatura, mi vida de la Edgar haircuts, porque miren, cantan americanos. I do. I'm not kidding. It's as though that if you're a Mexican, I may feel a little different around you. Not in a bad way. It's just that the environment I grew up in, I get intimidated by them. It's just something about them is just so attractive. Think about K-pop, right? But the Latino version, they're so beautiful. They are. I just wanted to share that. And literally, he almost looks like him, kind of. So you can see why I got a little bit afraid. That actually makes sense, right? And don't get me started for Mexican boys that do have, let's just say, German, Alaman or Italiano descent, right? White Mexicans. I know they're known supposed to be pretty tall, like really tall. And, oh boy, sorry, I'm getting a little bit intimidated. Just think about this and having hazel or light brown eyes. Oh, it's so, God, why are Mexicans so intimidating? In a way, and I know, I don't want to talk about, the ice situation or whatever. That's not important right now. No me aporta para esta video, pero I just really like the type of haircut because, again, think about a ball, right? And it would have a fade on the sides. And also, they would wear earrings. It's not gay. It's not. In fact, I think it's pretty masculine if you actually ask me, right? And yeah, a lot of boys in my school, because I went to Hamburg High School, but dressed like this. And this was that's right. It was the early 2010s, so that's when it started to get really popular. And it's mostly known here in the Southwest, right? So maybe for my viewers in the Northeast, or maybe in the Midwest, maybe the Deep South, I'm not sure though, but especially the Midwest, unless you live in Chicago, maybe, hint, hint, you may have not noticed this type of style, right? And a lot of people think it's ugly. I don't think so. And also, when I read about this, right, por ejemplo, in 2021, right, 2021, basically one of our schools out here, El Paso High School, we have a name for that. They wanted to attempt to abandon it because it's considered as a distraction, right? Which I don't know why. I guess because it says here, is to reflect biases that may spill over into Arizona's border communities. I'm not sure if that may have to do with, like, the Arizona, not the Arizona, the Mexican cartels or something. And I don't think they dress like that, but I don't know. I'm not sure, though, right? It just says here that many Arizona teens embrace it as a defiant expression of identity, countering stereotypes throughout social media, right? But the thing is, though, this does relate to their ancestors, so that makes sense. And I see nothing wrong with that. As long as it doesn't encourage, crime and guns or beating someone up, that's because they may be, un poco de fruta. Okay, a poco frutita. Okay, just like a little fruity, if that actually makes sense, right? And for the cultural identity, the haircut is a way to basically express Mexican and indigenous heritage. And it's been like that from that tribe that I mentioned earlier in the video during between the 16th and I think it's because let's see. Actually, yeah, at the end, it's the 14th to the 16th century, which is the 15 to 1700s, right? For Latino boys. Other ethnicities would have that style too, but it's mostly common in Latino, right? And it supposed to represent of how they will stay cool because of our desert climate, which I didn't knew that having a certain hairstyle kind of defines, the climate that you live in. That's really interesting because I know I have thick curly hair, and I guess it makes sense because I wear beanies because I get hot much easier without beanies. It's kind of weird because you're thinking that they're only for the winter. No, I wear beanies all the time and go out because we get a lot of sun here. So I'm not sure how it's like in the Northeast where it rains a lot. If I would go to Boston or maybe Atlanta in the deep South where it rains heavily, so I've heard. I'd probably be wearing beanies as much, because they would get soaked really quick. So basically, if I'm reading more of it, it'll cost $30. Wow, that's a lot. But it says here though, they take 30 to 40 minutes to cut. So a dollar, un dólar por minuto. Silly hombre. Huh. No tengo idea. I didn't know that. That's really interesting. So yeah, I decided I could share it because it's considered as gangsta, right? Or let's just say if a Latino boy is considered living below the poverty line. Let's just say if his family's a little poor, right? Lower class. And again, I've seen nothing wrong with it. Yes, I know maybe relate to those boys, but I know there are boys out there that are not gangsters that like the hairstyle. And it says here, barbers like como Nicolas Campos in Texas near mi estado, note is staying power with 70 al 80 de niños clients, right? Basically young clients requesting it, suggesting similar trends in our urban barbershops here. So I knew that. It's really cool, honestly. And I thought I could just talk about this. And, well, I think it was down by before he went to bed, because he's always the last one that was a little interested in me talking about, let's just say, fashion statements that people don't like. And honestly, I thought this one may stand out because I think it's pretty attractive. So I just want to say for my boys out there, let's just say if you're in college in your early 20s, I kind of encourage, as long as you don't doing gangs or whatever, to increase that gangster stereotype, I see nothing wrong with it. I think it's really attractive. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe it's because, even though there are chubby, gordo de niños, right? Niños y gordos that would have this Edgar hairstyle, and there's nothing wrong for my boys out there that are chubby. It's just that a lot of these boys I've seen growing up would that are athletic / slim, blanket, flaquito, okay, would have this type of style. Also, this would be a little bit dumb, but I had a crush on a boy back in my freshman year of high school. He was Mexican, and I think he dressed like this, and I got nervous because, he's straight, right? And again, being gay back then or whatever, or expressing your affection for boys is really taboo. I kind of liked how he kind of sagged. I could see his boxers. I don't know why. I like when boys do that. I don't know why. It makes me nervous. I do not know why. As long as you don't do it out in public. Like if you're in school, local say, right? It's whatever. Maybe college, you're supposed to be professional. As long as you don't show your bulge, if that makes sense, right? I see nothing wrong with it. Plus, it kind of gives a little personality of what the outfit that the boy wears. I don't know why. Maybe it's because when boys stretch, you can see their skin or maybe their little tummy, their happy trail, and it kind of shows like how their clothes will fit them. It kind of shows their masculinity, their height or whatever. Ugh, I love when boys just do that. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, I had to hear this. It just makes my heart skip, honestly, and I try not to be nervous around the same sex. Okay, I just wanted to share that. Also, I wanted to share this. Hopefully YouTube doesn't remove this because for some reason, I guess they didn't like the title "male naked body" for some dumb reason. I don't know why, and they're thinking that this would be considered as nudity. So hope to Buddha that this doesn't get removed. I might need to upload it. What the I gotta be careful though because I did not want to get another. I don't want to get my first community guideline strike because there's no nudity. I'm just kind of fantasizing about Latino boys. So hopefully, or Mexican boys. Hopefully YouTube does not consider it as sex and nudity because there's nothing to be seen here, right? I swear. Hope to boot up. It's barely that YouTube doesn't see that way. So to change this up very quick, I do have the Chinese bill video. I will share that later because I don't think I'm not ready to prepare for that yet. And then after that, I would upload the Japanese Honda video, which I did my best on it. So I know it's a little bit sloppy, but whatever. But yeah, other than that, I just don't see what's a big deal. You know, if Mexican my Mexican boys, okay, if you want to have this haircut, go for it. Honestly, I just have to say you're probably the most macho nationality I've ever seen, right? And then, well, I don't want to say that. Oh yeah, which race is? Because I'm talking about nationality, because this is their culture, right? Not compared to, let's just say, Colombian. I don't think any Colombians would probably have hairs like this. I don't know. Or Peruvians, you know, they're different. Brazilians is something else, right? They're all different, okay? Each Latin country has their own culture. A lot of people need to know this, okay? They're not the same. I grew up in the Mexican culture, okay? Not Puerto Rican, not Cuban, not El Salvadorian, okay? Not Bolivian. They're totally different. La música, you know, por ejemplo, no mismo, okay? Totally different, okay? Not just when I hear like cartel related music. So I've heard, but tribal music, right? Amazing music. I'd love to say Mexican music is really beautiful. You know, for some reason I can easily get copyright for it. I don't know why though. But yeah, they're different. Okay, Colombian music is way different than Mexican music. It's not the same. Also, that's just sure as a little bonus. When I went to Alhambra High School, right? I remember that in some days with the boys I would hang out with, right? It sucks that I didn't have a female friend to hang out with to dance though. Someone filming us dancing. I wish. That way I want people to know that, yeah, I grew up around the Mexican community. I did. Okay? I love both being an American and having, well, I'm not Mexican, but my brother's half. Okay, so I hope that I'm part of it. I just want to say this. I'm not kidding. He is half Mexican. He's lighter than me. He looks like he's Spanish. Okay, that helps. Spaniard. Okay? I forgot we used to do that back then. Okay, let me explain very quick. Okay, I'm not being off topic. In some days, throughout the months of the school year, we have a little dance, right? And they would do that. You know, think about how Argentines would dance. I think it's called salsa, pero totally different. It's, think about mariachi, right? It's like that. I always wanted to, you know what? I don't want to say this for my Mexican boys out there. Regardless of your sexuality, I wouldn't mind, and don't worry, okay? It won't be in an appropriate way. Plus, well, I'm the type of person I like to be touched anyway, and I get nervous. I wouldn't mind just doing a little dance, right? I always want to do it. It's when you would hold your little partner, right? You have the hand up, you know, do la verdadera mano, okay? Arriba y la izquierda, you know, do la mano abajo. So you basically have your hand up and then your head down, right? Kind of think about, I wanted, maybe Mexicans though, so I'm sharing a little bit. They kind of adopted the culture from Bavaria. So Germany, Wallandonk, Lotta, Vorklig, because I see why maybe Germans like it out here. And I love Germany. You know, I heard that the family laws are strict. I don't know. I just know they got beautiful mountains and they got delicious chocolate and a delicious gloop. So, yeah, yo hablo alemán pero mira, alemán no es perfecto. Oder ich spreche Spanish, aber mein español ist nicht perfect. So yeah, other than that, I just wanted to share a little bit something about my high school hood, and yeah, we basically had those dances, and again, it was a large school. It had 2,800 kids. So yeah, un montón on the estudiantes, hombre, un montón. So other than that, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to. Oh, well, okay, how about this? If you are Mexican, okay, no matter how much DNA, okay, or if you speak Spanish, okay, wait, hold on. If you are Mexican, do not feel hesitant to type the word Viva Mexico, okay, or the Mexican flag emoji. You could just copy and paste it from Google, right? And then if you're not, let's just say if you're Latino, feel free to, I mean, if you are Latino but you're not Mexican, do not feel hesitant to add your own Latino flag. And then for the ones that are not Latino at all, okay, feel free to type in, I'm trying to think of a cool Spanish word. I can't think of one right now. Damn, let's see, what's a good one? Type in mariachi. If you heard of it, right? I don't know. I'm bad at it. I'll capitalize if you want. And also for my Mexicans, you know what I mean. My Latinos, but especially my Mexicans, do not feel hesitant to add the cute upside down exclamation mark. So I forgot the name of it, right? That's another thing. Also, I don't want to share too much of it because I don't want to get, another damn strike if I would talk a little bit more about boys, in a mature manner. Because I know how YouTube is, they got that dumb age restriction law. But I'm not, I want to play cautiously because I already went through that already. But yeah, other than that, I just wanted to share this because Mexican men are amazing. Also, bonus, one of the maintenance men, they actually knew my mother, mi madre, right? Or verdad, pala 6 años, Dion, I think it's been that long. And he waved at me before they left, right? Because it was him and then another maintenance man that helped because we got a new washer. And I think the woman there, she's poquita. Okay, she's pretty short. I think she's probably one of the main workers of our neighborhood. Not a manager, maybe. I'm not sure though, but higher up, I guess. So, and I basically just asked, "Hola, cómo estás?" Right? Because I knew he speaks Spanish. Also, I like to speak Spanish more than English. I just want to say this again. If you're Latino, you speak Spanish. If you're okay with me speaking Spanish, please let me know. Especially through my live streams. I like speaking it. And again, I'm only maybe 32% fluent, so I can understand not that much Spanish, but enough to hold a decent conversation. So, tiempo es 11 de la noche y esta la noche es viernes, or primo de agosto, 2025, era un poco cansando de rápido, pero eso de biryani, espectacular, unos de mis favoritos, cadenas de reactors, completo la series de jóvenes and titanes para el 23. Mwah. So, if I could just play this in the background very quick, because I'm around the 53-minute mark, 53 and a half. It's supposed to be when Beast Boy basically did that horrible prank on Starfire.
Oh, God.
Starfire. Also, I wanted to share this one thing for my Mexicans out there. If you have watched this series that I just said in Spanish, okay, hopefully my Mexican Spanish is decent. Is he Mexican too?